What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another Chef's Garage video. Today I'm going to go over why I don't dealer maintain my Mark 8 GTI and why in some scenarios you shouldn't do so either with your Volkswagen. Without further ado, let's get straight into this video. First, if you're new to the channel and this is the first time seeing my face on your screen, consider subscribing down below for more awesome Mark 8 GTI videos or other car content. While we're so close to 1,900 subscribers, you guys have been crushing the support lately. It's been my dream to become a full-time YouTuber, and I cannot do without your guys' support. Anyways, back to the video. Now, in my 3-year update video with the GTI, which if you haven't seen it yet, it's up there in the iCard, I talked about all the maintenance I've done with my Mark 8 GTI. I told you guys that I don't take my car to the dealer and I actually take it to an independent shop instead, and I got a couple of people in the comments basically say why you should never take your car to an independent shop, only the dealer, only OEM parts, etc, etc, etc. Today I'm going to explain why taking your car to the dealer in some scenarios is a good idea and taking your car to the dealer for service in other scenarios is a bad idea. Let's get started. Now let's start off with dealer maintaining your car and the scenarios that I feel like you should dealer maintain your car. Let's start off with the easy ones, that if you have a stock car like a stock Mark 8 GTI or a Golf R, I recommend taking your car to the dealer because it's just the best place to take it. Dealerships are mainly taking a bunch of stock cars every single day for service, so they're pretty familiar with it. There shouldn't be any roadblocks, and most of it should be covered under warranty if there's a problem with the car or something. This also would go for a lightly modified car. I'm talking about a very lightly modified car, intake, exhaust, something very, very lightly modified. I would also see no problem in taking that to the dealer as well. Normally, stuff like exhaust or intakes shouldn't provide any roadblocks with any dealership service people, so I should see no problem with taking it there as well. Now let's get into the more nitty-gritty stuff. If you have a modified Volkswagen GTI or Golf R, for example, you're in a pretty tricky, difficult situation in terms of dealer service. These cars are enthusiast cars. They are modified all the time, so it shouldn't be this difficult to service these, however, when they are modified, but unfortunately, in my opinion, it's quite to be a little bit difficult than it should be. If you own a modified GTI or Golf R and you do dealer maintain your car, most likely that dealer has an enthusiast customer base. This is meaning that the dealer staff, salespeople, or service advisors understand the culture and modifying these cars, meaning that they are fine with taking cars with a bunch of modifications on them and still working on them without having the modifications interfere with the service. Now, these enthusiast customer-based dealers are very hard to come by. It is very rare that a Volkswagen dealership has an enthusiast customer base. They may know a lot about the product, but they may not know a lot about the modification world and why people like me and you modify these cars. Instead of taking your modified GTI or Golf R to the dealership, you should take it to an independent German shop that deals with modified cars all the time. The problem with taking your modified GTI or Golf R to the dealership is basically what happened to me multiple times, which is why if I'm not going to be servicing my car at the dealership, I'm avoiding the dealership at all costs. I have tried 3 different Volkswagen dealerships and all 3 I have had problems with. They were the same problems, either that my car is modified and they just refuse to work on it outright, which is kind of BS. Number 2, they fed me lines of BS saying that because this is done to your car, we can't do this. And number 3 is that since they don't deal with modified cars, they don't feel comfortable with working on it or damaging the parts, which, listen, I can understand that. Now, taking my car to this independent German shop has a bunch of advantages. Number 1 is that the service in general is cheaper because it's not ran by the manufacturer rather than an independent person. And number 2 is that they deal with enthusiast cars all the time. So, you know, while a GTI is an enthusiast car, I've made it tailored more to me and more of a car enthusiast car. So they deal with that type of stuff all the time. So I feel confident in them touching the car with all the modification stuff. And number 3 is it's not just some mechanics working on it. These mechanics are trained and are knowledgeable around the modification world and the modified car world, so they sort of know what they're doing in that department as well. would say this goes for you too. If you are having problems with your dealership, or you just don't know where to service your car after you modified it, I highly recommend an independent German shop, and that is the only scenario that I would recommend if you have a modified car, to not take your car to the dealership, because in the end it's just going to end terribly, and it's just not worth the fight, in my opinion. These independent German shops can do basically just about anything, from installing your modifications to just servicing your car, which is what I do there as well, including the modification stuff. For example, for my last 25,000 mile service, I did my tires, my brakes, and my oil change with them, and it was much cheaper than if I just did it at a Volkswagen. So there's a bit of a cost savings there as well, which is also really nice for the long run, because as well as, you know, this is not the only car I want to have in the future. Now, I would say the only downside to taking your car to a third-party independent shop for service is that it could potentially hurt the value on the Carfax, for example. Now, me personally, I'm not too concerned of that, because I've kind of already hurt the value of my car already with all the modifications I've done to it, because, you know, modifications don't really increase value, unfortunately. Well, in some eyes they do, but generally they don't. But on the Carfax, normally dealer maintaining your car will have a higher value on the Carfax, because it was just taken to the dealer, so most people will have trust in that car. Versus this car, it will have a bunch of third-party, you know, repair shop services on it, and some people just kind of review that as a red flag, which I think they shouldn't. It's kind of the same parts. The third-party shop uses the same OEM parts if it's a good third-party shop like the one I use. So that's just the only downside. It could hurt the value on the Carfax, but if you don't really care about that, third-party shop all day, every day. If you are from Massachusetts and are looking for a good third-party German shop, if you are a Volkswagen or a German car nerd like I am, I highly recommend Ray Team Automotive in Waltham, Massachusetts. That's where I take my car. They are great people. They are not telling me to say this. They don't know I'm saying this. They're not paying me to say this, but they are truly some of the best people that have ever worked on my car in the past, and I will continue to do business with them. That is why I don't dealer maintain your car, and that is why I reckon there are some scenarios that you should dealer maintain your car and shouldn't dealer maintain your car. And let me know how you maintain your car in the comment section down below, or your Mark 8 GTI or Golf R. Do you dealer maintain it, or do you third-party dealer maintain it, third-party independent shop maintain it, whatever. Anyways, that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys in the next one, and of course, peace out.